everybody. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to do our weekly recap of Love After Lockups, Love During Lockup. This episode was titled Free Candice. Candice is free, y'all. She is finally free. And when I tell you she is free and everything that I thought about her seems to be exactly what's going down between her and Andrew. But we are going to go through all of these couples. I appreciate everybody for being here. If you're part of the replay gang and you're watching this when I'm no longer live, I really do appreciate you. It means the world to me whenever anybody takes the time to show up to a live or even to watch it once we're not live anymore. So I appreciate all of you guys. Friendly reminder to please like the video if you like what we're doing. Be sure to comment your opinions. If you agree or disagree with anything I'm saying, everyone is welcome. Do not be afraid to comment. I do not delete comments or anything like that unless they are racist or, something entirely random. Other than that, I welcome everybody. Subscribe if you really like me. We're going to jump right on into it. So we're going to start this episode with Ayanna and Jamal. I'm not going to go throughout what happens in each scene of the episode. What I am going to do, you guys, is go over what happened throughout the entire episode for each couple. So we're going to start with Ayanna and Jamal. Now, Ayanna has been the Hot Mess Express, like in real time. Like she is the Hot Mess Express. It does not make any sense to make so many bad decisions back to back to back, but to still not be accountable for any of it. It makes no sense. It's really concerning too, because it's like she's making all of these bad choices and now she's having to be accountable for it, but she still isn't accountable. It's almost like she thinks that God is just like making like bad things rain down from the skies into her life, which I don't like that. I hate people who are like, what do they call it? Like martyrs, feel bad for themselves, stuff like that. It really annoys me. And that's what Ayanna gives. So she's filming a phone call with Jamal. She's on the phone with him, prepping for court and all of that. And I peeped that she wasn't on the phone. There have been more than multiple handfuls of castmates and members who have done Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love During Lockup. And they have said that some of it is fake. Sometimes I'm like, maybe people are just saying that because they're distraught that they're not on the show or it didn't work out. But Ayanna was not on the phone. She got an iPhone. Even if you're on the phone, you're going to see the little highlight bubble somewhere, even if it's small in the corner. Do better, WeTV. Moving on. She's prepping to figure out her sentence. I guess her court is virtual. I know that some, judges do that because they can move through cases faster. I know that also became more of a thing during COVID. So I'm like, okay, so her court date is virtual. So that makes sense as to why she was able to do her visit with Jamal in addition to this court date, which she's been talking about in the previous episode. So she gets mad at the judge. They're not allowed to film the court, even though it's on the phone. But I think it's smart of WeTV to just follow the law. And she basically is upset that the judge wants her to not feed her kid while they're in court. And I'm like, come on, Ayanna. In real life, would you have been feeding your daughter if you had to show up in person to court? Like, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Like, I get people like Ayanna. I have multiple family members right now, unfortunately, and friends that are in jail. Some of them in prison, free chop, free tray. Like, I love y'all. But at the same time, when you go to court, there's a way to behave. The hoodest and the streetest of men's. Okay, the people who you just think ain't got no form of sense will show up to court in a collared shirt and some appropriate shoes, a suit and tie, a pantsuit if you a lady. Like, I mean, the most ignorant of ignorant people understand that when you're in court, you're not in charge. I mean, you got to think of inmates who are institutionalized. They understand, like, I got to do what the COs say. They run my life. It doesn't seem like Ayanna understands this, but she doesn't want to follow the law. And it's concerning that she has kids and keeps making them when her brain operates the way that it does, y'all. And I know a lot of people could get at her because she's a stripper who literally is dating the baby daddy and boyfriend of her best friend that she grew up with. That, I mean, that's bad too. That definitely shows some character issues. However, it's not just that she's dogging other people and making their life miserable. The girl don't care or had the brains to make her life no better neither. And I know that she's got no brains because she really fixed herself to come on this television show. WeTV did not find her. She had to find them. And she fixed herself to come on this show and act the fool and to act a slow fool. I just don't understand Ayana. I don't. I try to give her grace on the last few episodes from the therapy sessions because I was like, okay, there's obviously some type of pain there. However, I try to look at what could be causing the hot mess express, but this lady is just problematic in every way. She really needs to grow up, you guys. So she's upset. She's trying to feed her kid on camera in court. Here's the thing, whether court is virtual or in person, you knew because you were discussing this when your court date would be. Even if you didn't, you knew that you would visit Jamal on that day. One would assume that if you know that your court date, let's just make up a time. Let's say if she knew that her court date was at 9 a.m. virtual, that she should have been ready and had the baby fed and handled by 8:45. That's just how I think. Listen, I'm Black too. Okay. So I don't want to hear the CP time or the Black people ain't never on time. That is a stereotype, and all stereotypes do come from some type of truth. Yes. However, not all Black people are like that. I'm on time. My husband's on time. He Black too. All my friends who Black for the most part's on time. And when it comes to things like being late, if they are late, it might be to like dinner together or to kick it, little stuff. But when it comes to like things that are important, like court, flights, appointments, for doctors or your children, you should plan accordingly. And if you can't, your daughter could have waited the 20 minutes that court date could have taken to eat. That's just how I feel. The girl is obviously fed. Okay. That is a chunky, cute little baby. That baby's eating. She could have threw that baby in the pack and play, went to another room or something and done her court date, or let the baby cry and said, I apologize. My daughter's here. I'm a single mother. The judge don't feel bad for you. You know how many single mothers exist that didn't get themselves in the situation you are? Ayana, grow up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to dog her. She got to grow up. But she basically gets upset with the judge, and the judge gives her 4 years of probation, which she's upset about. And she's going to have to do 15 days in jail from what I heard. Why would you get an attitude with the judge? Hell yeah, she gonna give you some more charges. Why would you get an attitude with the judge, Ayana? And for those who are unsure, Ayana is the young lady in the pink with that strange chest tattoo all the way to the right of the screen. I don't understand why she would fix herself to have an attitude of any sort with the judge. You can feel how you feel about the judge. The judge may have been a jerk or a B, whatever she called her, but you knew about this court date. Why would you have your kid and decide to feed your kid at the time of court? You could have been moving your arm off camera or something to where the lady couldn't have even seen you feeding her. But bottom line is there were so many other things that Ayana could have done in this situation. I don't think she's fit to be a parent. She's not raising the first kid. She's still stripping. Who knows who could follow her home or what could happen. She's irresponsible and dating inmates, getting into fights, driving while high. I mean, the list goes on. And I know strippers. She gives the people like her, give them a bad name. I know strippers that are really doing this because they have to pay for their kids and will be up all night dancing and be up the next day with their kids bright and early at school, on time, going to PTA conferences and meetings. Like, they're not all like Ayana. Ayana just slow, y'all. But she lets Jamal know of this, which is a problem because Jamal's in jail right now too. And she lets him know, like, he's not even tripping on the jail time. The biggest concern is the probation. Because felon, people on probation, they're not supposed to be around each other. So we don't know if those two will be able to kick it together. His concern, though, he explains, like, it don't matter how you feel. They in charge. They the boss once you get in trouble. He said you need to learn how to bite your tongue. I actually think that I agree with everything that Jamal said. Don't nobody feel sorry for you. You should have learned to bite your tongue. And then she start crying. I think we're watching the end of this relationship, you guys, and let me tell you why. Shout out to According to Amber. She's another creator and channel that not only, she doesn't really recap Love After Lockup, but she has the tea on every castmate member. They hit her up. She interviews people. I really appreciate and enjoy her content. Check out According to Amber on YouTube if you are watching there. Now, According to Amber, just reported, I just watched this video, you guys, before going live, that Ayana and Jamal are supposedly no longer together. Apparently, he was just using her, and that he is now trying to get back with the baby mama. And this information is apparently coming from the sister of the baby mama, who was Ayana's best friend, it seems, for more than half of her life. Ayana just gets trashier and trashier. I tell you, she doing all of this for a man, and I just can't. I don't see much depth in Ayana and Jamal's relationship outside of the ass clapping and the money that she probably sends. I mean, I don't understand it, but may her ass clap into the next universe. But we know she gonna have to do jail time. What's up, oh so best? He said used her like a tool. I mean, that's what happens. The same way you catch them is the same way you lose them. So be careful how you get the person you're dating. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all. Moving on. We're gonna discuss the simp and Candice. I cannot stand this simpleton Andrew. He gets not even the last nerve. He gets on every nerve that exists in my life. Candice is getting out of jail after 6 years. I'm gonna just say this, y'all. Homegirl look rough. Her pictures, her. Ooh, this is so bad to say. Her mugshot looked better than when I seen her in person. That's so bad to say, but that's just how I feel. I was like, he did all of this, $23,000 here, buying her a truck, driving it across country, getting her an apartment you don't know that she can live in. You never met her. You not visited her. You don't know what the cookie look like, tastes like, smell like. He knows nothing. And he has done the most for Candice, but she is the first to get out. And they get to the car. Candice seems okay. She does seem a little uncomfortable, but they get to the car. Before she can even get in the car, after getting out the tailgate, he proposes. He's a simp, y'all. And y'all probably like, why you keep saying that, Mrs.? Let me tell y'all, Mrs. Best is not changing her opinion. You guys can think that he is romantic. I am totally open to being wrong about Candice and Andrew, but I think that she is using him to get stable. I think that maybe she can grow to love him and appreciate him, but I do think she's using him to get stable. I think her only concern, like any real mother who's in her right mind, is getting back her kids or to see her kids, which is fine, but she should be honest with him about that. So because she's not honest with Andrew about her intentions with wanting to stay in Vegas so she gets her son and all that, I feel like that's what makes it shady. Because just keep it real. Most people will respect if you're like, I got to get my life together and make things right with my child before I move across the country and pursue a relationship with you. So I don't understand why Candice lies, and that's what makes her shady. Moving it along, she takes a while after this guy proposes to say yes, which is a concern. Okay, my husband asked me to marry me. I was like, as soon as I figured out what was going on, I was ready to say yes before he could even finish getting down on the knee. So I don't feel like if you have to question it, you're not in the right space. I also think it's too soon, but Andrew's a simp. Basically, we find out that Candice lets them know that she has to do well care, which sounds like some sort of rehab or, transitional housing program that happens when you get out of jail, which I think is smart for Vegas to have. There's a lot of temptation in Vegas. Fun fact, y'all, I really want to move to Vegas, but my husband don't want us to. But I would love to go there. I have a degree in psychology and I work in substance abuse and social services, and sadly, Vegas is good for that. But moving it on along, she takes a while to say yes, and it just doesn't seem like she's that interested, but she does give him a yes to the engagement. So I guess they are now engaged. Congrats, Andrew and Candice. Andrew, I want you to stop using money as your love language. You can spoil your partner, you can do nice things for them, but you need to know that they like you for you, not just what you have. I think that's very important for all people. And then if you choose to spoil them, hey, it is what it is. Anywho, Candice has to do the well care program. She has to basically go stay in a housing system for 20 to 30 days before the state allows her to live on her own. Part of the reason is because she's an addict and they want to make sure she's on the right track, which I think is smart. But he tries to like cupcake with his girl. I don't know if people say that outside the Bay Area. I feel like y'all should understand what cupcake up means. Have boo time, be all that, kiss on her, just like the little relationship like things. She don't want to be touched. She says that she is not used to the attention. I think she's full of you know what. I don't know a female that don't like to be touched by somebody that they're interested in. I know that some people struggle with that, especially if they've been essayed or anything like that. I've experienced that before, and being touched and affection was hard for me. But to some extent, like, you have to get comfortable. You just got engaged, but you don't want to touch them. Make it make sense. They kept saying to each other, y'all, on that truck, the back of the tailgate, they kept saying, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna be so happy to get. I said, the fact that they keep saying it lets me know that maybe everything is not gonna be okay. And maybe they're not gonna be the happiest together. If you have to talk about things being okay all the time, they're either not okay or they are not going to be okay. That's just my opinion, y'all. That's just my opinion. If you have a different one, go ahead and comment your opinions. Also, be sure to like the video if you've made it this far into it. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. We are live on all 3 platforms right now. Hey, y'all. We're now going to move away from Andrew and Candice, who really aren't giving much this season. And with her getting out so fast, side note, I feel like they would have been better for Love After Lockup. But, that's another thing. Tenny and Rob. Tenny is the young lady in the middle, the African-American lady to the left of our gay couple in yellow. She is telling the kids that Rob is not coming home for a few weeks. I don't trust any of this. And I'll tell y'all why after. Not much happens with them. She lets the kids know Rob's not coming home for a few months. It's, I believe, 2 months. And one of her kids is having a birthday. Again, he is not the father of either of her kids. I feel like the kids are way too involved, especially that little boy, the son. He seems a little too attached emotionally, which worries me because she don't know if it's going to work with him. She goes to see her mom, and her mom go shopping. She turns off the cameras because she's upset with Rob because he took parole, or he refused parole without talking to her. Her mama breaks down and feels like she's failed her child because she was a single mother and she never wanted her daughter to end up in this type of relationship with somebody who's locked up behind bars, which I could understand. I could definitely understand. Like, you don't want your partner, anybody you love, to be with someone who cannot do for them. And people in jail most of the time cannot do for their loved ones. And if they're able to provide for their loved ones from behind the jail, unless they real rich, like, it's usually in a shady way. So I don't know. Not much happened with them. They went shopping. Rob talked about how Tenny spends a lot of money. She spent hella money. I don't know. They're supposedly high school sweethearts, but y'all can't be that big of high school sweethearts because she got 2 kids by 2 different people. That's not him. So I don't know. I hope it works out just because they have a lot invested, but I don't respect her as a mom for not having a backup plan. These women on this show do not care that their children are around inmates that they've never met. Hi, Naya. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm like, I didn't know Naya watched Love After Lockup, or she doesn't, and she's just supportive. But Thug Life and hey, boo. But these women on this show, it's very hard for me to respect the mothers on Love After Lockup. While it's entertaining, and I know most of them do mean well, and they just want to have companionship. Tenny is a stay-at-home mom who was having a hard time and struggling before she got with Rob. And she's allowing someone in prison who's never proven themselves to her on the outside or while free to take care of her, the rent, her house, her kids. It's baffling. Now, yes, you can buy property and stuff as well from jail. So I'm like, whose name is the house in, Tenny? Like, what's going on? There's too many secrets between these two. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Thank you, Boo Thug Life. Thank you. I don't understand it, but as of this episode, I was a little bit bored. So hopefully more happens with Tenny and Rob next week. Let's move on to the next couple, y'all, which is going to be Rick and Samantha. They the 2 white folk in between the 2 black folk to the left of the screen. That's the easiest way for me to explain it. Love it or hate it. That's what it is. Rick is with his nieces, and they're drilling him, cooking potatoes that needed to be cooked a tad more and with some seasoning. My goodness, what was they eating? But they're laughing at the fact that Sam has been married 5 times. Samantha is the young lady that Rick is dating. These people are over the age of 50, going to 40-year-old high school reunions. I don't understand that, but they also went to high school together. It's like a cast full of high school sweethearts, y'all. Everybody seemed to know each other in high school. Anywho, Samantha's been married 5 times, which is a lot. I'm like, oh, she's a huge red flag. Why you been married so many times? Are you trying to train to be like Elizabeth Taylor? Like, what's going on, sis? I don't understand. 5 times being married, one time is enough for me. I was like, I can't do this marriage thing over and over and over again as soon as I got married, because the following day, a few days after, I had to go to DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, change my last name. And they were like, you can't do this until you go to the Social Security office. I said, oh my God, I still get bills and stuff sometimes in my maiden last name. So for the fact that this woman has been married 5 times, girl, ain't no love that deep for me to do it 5 times. That's crazy. So that is a red flag. And Samantha's also demanding money from Rick. She wants him to come and visit her because she's locked up, but she's slightly free. She's in a work program. So she goes to sleep at a minimum facility prison, but she does go out into the world to work and holds a job. But she wants money from Rick, and Rick is on a pension. And a portion of his pension goes to his ex-wife, who he was married to most of his adult life. So he don't have money to just be going back and forth from Arizona to Idaho to visit her. And I don't blame him for that. But he also seems unhappy throughout the episode with her giving him ultimatums and whatnot. And, he says he wants to marry Samantha, y'all, but I don't think Rick want to marry Samantha. I think he knows that it may not work out. He just needs to focus on sobriety. I don't think two people who are addicts should be together, even when it's recovering addicts, because if one person relapses, it could tempt the other. It just seems like a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens with Rick and Samantha. This is a very interesting cast, I will say the least. But I just wish WeTV would do better with casting, because half of these people, it's not going to work and they're just stupid, or they want to be on TV. I'll say that. Last couple we're going to talk about is Joey and Michael. They are the first gay couple that's ever been on the Love After Lockup franchise as a whole. I love that they're being inclusive. I think it's wonderful. Everybody should be able to look at things and see something that represents them. So I love it. He meets with an LGBTQ. I'm not saying the rest of the letters, but don't hate on me because I don't hate on y'all. But he goes to an LGBTQ sex columnist named Minerva, who I guess is a big deal, he says, in the gay community where he lives. And he lets her know of his discomfort with intimacy. And please, if you are one of them pronoun bandits, do not be coming for me in the comments. I did not know whether to call Minerva a she or a he. I saw titties. I saw lipstick. I saw a wig. I said, I'm just going to use her. So please don't come for me, y'all, with that. I don't have time. But Minerva's letting Michael know that, he needs to maybe open up and talk about the things that are bothering him. And so Michael then complains Joey complains that Michael has an issue with how he gives fellatio. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know if I can say that. Diagree said they add a letter every few years. LGBTQ after that, I don't know. Right. I can't keep up. I think there's like 4 other letters that were added and some symbols. Listen, I don't care who loves who. I don't care who marries who. Don't make no difference to me as long as you kind to me. I don't care. But I can't keep up with all of this, okay? When I went to school, there was she and he. There were no theys, okay? I can't keep up. I can't. But I'm going to try. I'll try. Lord help us. So this is awkward. Michael, while in a public coffee shop, y'all, I don't care if it's gay friendly. Gay friendly doesn't always mean, oh, we have to talk about sex loudly. You still in public. He's talking about how Michael don't like how he gives head and he's not good at giving head and all these types of things. And Minerva legitimately instructed him on how to give fellatio, that dome action, happy time at the mouth. She literally walked him through it. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't know what YouTube is okay with or not okay with these days. It changes daily. But I just thought that was a little strange to be explaining in the restaurant. She's like, and don't be afraid to use 2 hands. Got to use 2 hands. That means your throat not deep. Hey, I'm not going to be nasty on here. But I'm just laughing that this is what needed to happen. I've never heard that. But then she also tells him to watch porn and to talk about, like, take the dirty talk, I guess, part of it. I thought the whole ordeal was very awkward to watch on TV, to be honest. It was nice that she tried to help her friend. If I'm having problems in the bedroom, like if that ever happens, which I'm sure it will someday, but if I'm having problems in the bedroom, I just can't see myself going to my friends like in public. Like imagine me going out to eat with James or something, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel like I'm giving Mr. Best. He's complaining about the kind of head he gets. Like, huh? Go to an actual professional. There are sexologists, there are sex therapists. Most regular marriage and family therapists are and counselors are trained enough to be able to give some advice on the sex. Like, my goodness, I'm just Naya said I'm stuck on the two heads part though. I'm weak because I am the same way. Me and my husband was watching this episode, Naya. We rewinded. He said, "Wait, what?" Now I know some people will use two hands for a better feeling, but I mean, if you a boss or a sex worker, you shouldn't need any hands. I mean, hey, Waka Flocka, do it with no hands. I'm just saying. But it was a very strange thing to talk about in public, but he cares enough about Michael to do this. So then we see Joey brushing his teeth to prepare for a video visit. Joey, I'm glad that you have wonderful oral hygiene. I brush mine twice a day and I floss. However, comma, you're doing a video visit from jail breath. He can't smell your breath. I thought that was funny. He rents a motel room because he wants to have more sexy time with Michael. Mind y'all, they are doing phone calls, video calls from jail. It's only 15 minutes. And then in addition to that, you be seeing in the camera all the inmates and guards walking behind Michael and stuff. I'm like, how is he supposed to whip out his tilly whacker in front of the guards and start having happy time on these monitored phone calls? So it's very strange that Michael is doing all of this. But he gets the motel room, talks to Michael on the phone, lets Michael know he saw a sex therapist, even though Minerva is not a sex therapist. Uh, and before they could even get to discuss the idea of sexy time, Michael is mad. He says to Joey, I seen you on a dating app, a hookup app, to be that. And Michael swears, uh, Joey swears that he was not doing anything on the app, but Michael's upset about it. I'm just like, oh my God. Why are you on that app, Joey? Why are you on that app? Listen, Naya said this show is why. Naya, look into Love After Lockup on WeTV. Start from the beginning. You will not regret it. It's like wild because all of these people's legitimately go looking for love from the penitentiary is wild. Some of them have actually lasted. There are many couples that are together, have kids, have purchased homes. Some of the people have truly rehabilitated, but then there are this, and it is the Hot Mess Express. It is the Hot Mess Express. But yeah, he caught him on the dating app. Joey says he was on the dating app because he had Michael's information, and when they had to forge the picture to send it to the guards, which we haven't gotten an update on, he forged a fake picture, edited a photo because you have to prove that you know people on the outside in order to visit them in prison. And he sent in a fake photo, and we never got an update on the photo. So I'm curious to know what happened with that. But this is why Joey says that he was on the dating site. He was like, so I could grab a photo. Why couldn't Michael give you his password since he's locked up and you just log into the dating site and grab the photo that way? Joey, why did you have to make your own profile just to get a picture? That don't even make sense. So I don't know, and I don't blame Joey if he is creeping around. I can't hold nobody down. And mind you, Michael's keeping from Joey the fact that he could be in there for years. He may not be out for another decade. I can't do that. I told my husband, you ever go down, the limit is 5 to 10. After that, I don't know where we go from here. But that is it for this episode of Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup. Naya said the Hot Mess Express for real. Naya, you know what James said? I said, James, you don't watch this? He said, I can't. That's a little bit too ignorant for me. I was cracking up. But yeah, it is a mess, y'all. It is an absolute mess. But that is it for this recap. We're gonna leave off whenever I do recaps alone. We're gonna leave off playing a song by Mr. Oso Best, aka my husband. The next live I will be doing will be in just a few moments, right at 4:15, I believe. I will be going live with James Jackson, renowned author, and my co-host. We will be going live to discuss The Never Ever Mets, another show on OWN. That is the Hot Mess Express. But I appreciate all of y'all for tapping in and tuning in. We'll be back next Saturday as always. I'll also be picking up the Showtime series, The Shy. I will be getting that recap up tomorrow. Love and light to all of y'all. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy.
Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got gas, got a drink, every lip right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got bands, won't fold, I mean rich right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got gas, got a drink, every lip right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got bands, won't fold, I mean rich. To be real, you don't plan on a tip right now. You a lame straight square, you ain't shit right now. Like dang, who don't praise you? I got hands, so I'll fade you. Continue with plan, begin phase two. I'm a self-man now, I'm the best fool. I'm that shit, no need for a restroom. Book a sweet, but I'm a man, it's the best. Ass shaking in my face is a must. If it's hell 10 right, I'm gon' fuss. With a sluts, with a double stack bust. Jump for me if they real chin touched. Extend like pinky till I'm mushy. God got me, I am not losing. Slow down, no, I think not. Stack cheese, I think that's what's funk. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got gas, got a drink, every lip right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got band, won't fold, I mean rich right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got gas, got a drink, every lip right now. Don't be acting like a bitch right now. Got band, won't fold, I mean rich. You a bitch, it's true. You a bitch, it's true. You a bitch, how you had to run? What you gon' do? You a bitch, it's true. You a bitch, you a bitch. Stop acting like a bitch. Stop acting. You a bitch. You a bitch. Stop acting like a bitch. Stop acting. You a bitch. Stop acting like you a bitch. Stop acting like a bitch. It's true. It's true. It's true. Just have a little fun. Oh, so bad. Oh, yeah.